You know, some classes are just perfect for teaching online, but others, like learning how to cut hair, not so much. Local News 8's Chelsea Breyer shows us how the Paul Mitchell School in Rexburg is handling its reopening.
Paul Mitchell School reopened their classrooms to students on May 18th. Emma Long is the Director of Education for 5 schools, including in Rexburg. She says classes looked very different for future beauticians learning from home. There were sometimes up to 600 students on Zoom calls during any given class. Dax Hall is a future professional barber who is attending Paul Mitchell for his second time. He says an instructor would cut hair while the students followed along online.
There's a lot of hair cutting on Zoom calls.
Dax believes students are more prepared for their futures because of COVID.
They'll be more aware of what shops they want to work in by going in and shadowing and seeing, oh, well, this place is dirty, I don't want to work here.
Emma says cosmetology professionals volunteered their time to students for free during the shutdown.
It united the cosmetology industry, not only just for schools, but also for salons.
Cosmetology students are required to complete 160 hours of theoretical work to get a license. Paul Mitchell professors started those hours of training with a heightened emphasis on sanitation.
And we actually started off, because of the COVID, we wanted to make sure our students were up to date and up to speed. So the first thing we started off with sciences, and we went over and talked about viruses and bacteriology and learning about how it enters into the salon and what their role is to protect and safeguard the public.
Those students then received certification in sanitation practices before they were allowed back into the traditional classroom.
I know that Paul Mitchell is doing everything that we can to make sure that everyone is safe when they come into our school. You know, we're sanitizing our kits and making sure everything is clean.
The school's open to the public in June.
As for service guests, our service guests were just excited to get back in the door. A lot of them were messaging me, when can I get my appointment? Can I call first dibs?
She says they have had to make very minimal adjustments to follow very strict sanitation guidelines for everyone's safety. Reporting in Rexburg, I'm Chelsea Breyer.